how to repair a rod ring on fly rod. Either repair it or reattach. So what we've got here is fly rod blank together with our snake ring. The first thing we'll do is to attach the foot to the blank, and just need a little bit of light on there, ultraviolet light to cure the material, and then similarly, and this is just to locate the ring on the blank, and there we go. See? So that is now in place and ready for the next stage. And the next stage is to put material on the rod blank, now ideally one would use a rod turner, however it isn't totally necessary. You can do it by hand as I'm doing here. The benefit of Bug Bond is that it is a single part, one part material. It doesn't require any mixing, and therefore keeping the bottle inverted slightly means that when you're applying it, you're minimising the risk of any bubbles. Air bubbles can be taken out with a toothpick, or I mean, if needs be, if you actually got it terribly wrong, you could get some kitchen roll, kitchen paper, and take it all off and start again. Now, what we've got here is liquid material on the rod blank, and I'm now turning the blank by hand. Again, a rod turner would be handy, but not entirely necessary. And this is how I built the full rod recently. A rod which constructed purely in this method, and has caught 13 fish to 16 pounds maximum weight. Right, what we're going to do now is, once we're happy with the profile, and we can move this around, it's a bit of a longer bit of blank than I would have liked, actually finding that out, that it's actually hitting everything as I move it around, but we can move this around, and then once we're happy with the profile, give it some ultraviolet light and freeze the action. Now, the benefit of this is that it cures from 3.5 seconds. It doesn't mean that it's going to be totally cured at this stage. So what I would do is I would cure it in quadrant stages. So I would give it sort of 20 seconds, turn it another 20 seconds, another 20 seconds, another 20 seconds. The amount of curing it requires is based on the amount of material that you put on, and also the substrate that it's going on. Here we have a dark blank, and this will not reflect that much light back through the material. It'll absorb it, so it might take a little bit longer. Right, now we're on to the next one. And here we go again. Put the material onto the rod blank. So if we define the ends where we want to go, and just fill it in, The beauty about Bug Bond is that it is a totally tack-free material. You might find occasionally that, depending on the amount of material that you put on, it might have a slightly oily finish to it. That means you haven't cured it sufficiently and that you need to give it some more ultraviolet light. The other thing to be aware of is that batteries don't last forever, and you really do need high quality batteries in a UV light to make sure that you get as full a cure as possible. Folk also have a tendency to say, yeah, I've got my own UV light. Well, unless you've actually got the correct wavelength, then you could be disappointed with the finish you receive at the end of the day. Right, now we've got this gently rotating here. I'm actually now sort of resting this on a box and something else at the other end. I'm now going to flash cure it, so freeze the action. There we go, we've frozen the action. Now all we need to do is go through our quadrant phase of curing. And there we have a rod ring reattached or attached for the first time to a rod blank. No thread whatsoever. All done with the magic of Bug Bond.